Hi there, this is Penelope. This is the second in the series of DE4102 Trimester 2 2018 exam questions. This is question 2. Again, don't spend any more than 16 minutes on it. It's only worth 10 marks. Okay, so it says factorise and simplify. Now, if you're told to factorise and simplify, then generally it will. You're not likely to be given a tricky question. First thing to do is possibly factorise the bottom line, because then you'll be able to see what it is you're looking for. So, okay, it's probably got to have an x minus 7. It's a bit of a clue. So then we can say, well, x over x times x minus 7. And if we put in there x minus 7 and figure out what we need in there, it's got to be x minus 7 as well. So cancel, cancel, and we're left with x minus 7 over x. Not solving. There's nothing to solve there, but B, on the other hand, asks you to solve. So it says solve 4t minus 4t plus 1 equals 0. Now, in the exam, it's possibly better to use the quadratic formula. You are given this, so a equals 4, b equals negative 4, c equals 1, so plug that in, so t equals 4 plus or minus the square root of 16 minus 4 times 1, all over 2 times 4, so we're left with nothing in there, and 4 over 8, which equals a half, which you could write as 0.5. Now, if you thought straight off that you could factorise it, you're looking for two things that will multiply to make 4t squared. Let's go for 2t, and the only things that we can multiply to give positive 1 are 1 and 1. So because we've got a negative sign there, then we need a minus and a minus. So therefore 2t minus 1 equals 0, t equals a half as before. Question C is asking for you to rearrange to find R. So let's start off with F equals G times M1 M2 over R squared. First up, get rid of the G, so divide both sides by G. And then let's flip, because the thing that we want is currently on the bottom, so it's easier if we flip it and have it on the top. Okay, cross multiply and then divide by F, so we've got R squared equals G times M1 M2 over F, and that gives us that R is equal to R. Now it makes some comment R can't be negative, so we don't need to have the plus or minus square root, we can just have G M1 M2 over F. Question D, if you've printed this out, it may not show up as two different colours, but in the coloured version here it's quite easy to see that f of x is a quadratic. It's a convex quadratic. So that means it's got to have positive x squared. So let's try y equals x squared. Now that's not going to work because it's got a y-intercept of 1, so how about we just do plus 1. That gives us y, or f of x. Now g of x is a cubic, and it's got a y-intercept also at 1, so why don't we try g of x equals x cubed plus 1, and then we can check, because it shows us that when x equals negative 1, y equals 0. That's because of this point here. So if we check that, so 0 equals negative 1 cubed plus 1, and that's true. So yes, we're right.